Hello everyone, welcome to my review session for test 3. So I think all of you have got my email that test 3 is now rescheduled on 6th April, Monday. This is just to give you more time to adjust with the new format. So I think all of you have got my mail which containing the review sheet and also its detailed solutions. So now I'm going to discuss the review sheet, the solutions, and also I'm going to before that tell you the format, how test 3 would be conducted. What is the format of test 3? So let me first of all write down the date for test 3 again. So test 3 is on 6th April, which is Monday. Right, so how I am going to conduct the test 3? I am going to send you the question paper at 11 a.m. So at 11 a.m. I am going to send you the question paper. The question paper will have 15 problems. All these problems will be multiple choice, right? So all of them will be MCQ or multiple choice questions. So what does that mean? That means that you will be given 4 choices for each question. For example, you will be given say number 1 and you will be given the 4 choices A, B, C and D. Out of these 4 choices, 1 is correct, right? This is for all these 15 problems. Now how you are going to write down how in your answer script? So you need to take a sheet of paper. So in a sheet of paper, at the top of the sheet of paper, write down your name. For example, whatever is your name, just write down your name at the top. It's very important. Then you write down the question number. For example, the first question is, you put the question number, then you write down correct answer is, then you write down the correct answer. For example, if the correct answer for question number 1 is B, then you write down the correct answer is B. So you do not have to show any workings for any of the problems. So this gives you great relief. You don't have to show any working for any of the problems. No justification is required. So just you will write down the problem number and then you will write down correct answer is the correct answer. Out of these 4 choices, 1 choice will be correct. Just you will put down the correct answer. So since you don't have to show any justification, that means that, so if your choice is correct, you get full credit. If it's incorrect, you get 0 credit. Okay, so this is how the problem. So you will write down in this way all the 1 to 15, all the problems, and then you will write down the correct answers, and then you will take a snap of that sheet. After taking a snap of this sheet, you will mail me at my email address showrob@uab.edu, right? So URAV@uab.edu, but you have to mail me back within 3 p.m. That's the deadline. If I get your email after 3 p.m. I will not accept it. So I'll accept the answers within 3 p.m. At 6 p.m. on that day, I'll give you the answer key so that you can match, and from in advance you get to know how much did you score. So that's an effective way to conduct tests in which it's really for you because you don't have to justify anything, and it's really for me because I don't have to see all those steps. and it's more transparent, and I think it's more effective in this wartime scenario. So this is how the format of the test is. So just don't forget to write your name at the top. So this should be your format of the answers, of the answer script. And then at the top will be your name. Then we'll put down each of the question, problem number, and write for each problem number you will write correct answer is and the correct choice. Okay, so this is the format of the test. Now let's discuss what topics will be in test. So the topics which will appear in the tests are, number one, I'm just writing it down. First of all, you may copy it. So the topics which will appear in test 3 are topics. First topic will be Riemann sum. Second topic will be finding indefinite integral. Finding indefinite integral. Third topic will be finding definite integral. Fourth topic will be average value of a function. Value of a function. Then you will have the fundamental theorem of calculus. And finally, you have the properties of definite integral. Properties of definite integral. So there will be problems from these 6 topics in your test 3. So Riemann sum, finding, and in your review sheet I have put down, you can see the topics from each of these 6 topics. So since in your review sheet I have solved multiple problems, now I am going to go over one problem from each of these topics. So let's take the first topic, which is finding Riemann sum. Okay, so the first problem is evaluate Riemann sum for the function. You are given a function fx which is x cubed minus 6x, and you are asked to find out the Riemann sum for this function taking sample points to be the right endpoint. So sample points have to be the right endpoints. Sample points should be the right endpoints, and also it is given that a is equal to 0 B is equal to 3 and N is equal to 6. These are the informations given. So you are given a function, you are need to choose the sample points to be the right endpoints. You are given the value of A, B and N. So first thing will be to draw the number line. On the number line, put the value of A equals to 0. Put the then you calculate, put the value of B, right, which is 3. Then you need to calculate the width. The formula for width is delta x equals to B minus A by N. The value of B is 3. The value of A is 0. The value of N is 6. So you get 3 by 6, or which is half. Now once you calculate the width or the delta x, the width, then you see that it's easy. You just keep on adding this width. So A plus 0, A equals to 0, 0 plus half is half, half plus half is 1, 1 plus half is 3 over 2, 3 over 2 plus half is 2, 2 plus half is 5 over 2, 5 over 2 plus half is 3. You get the right hand point. Then you name these points. Let's call the first one as x0, let's call the next one as x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, and this is x6. Right? So we have named our points. Now what we need to do? We need to choose our sample points. The sample points have to be the right endpoint. So this is my first subinterval. What is the right endpoint of this subinterval? It is this. So I will name this as x1 star. So 1 means I am considering the first subinterval, and star means I am considering the right endpoint of the first subinterval. So this is my first subinterval and its right endpoint is half. So I have named it x1 star. Now let me consider my second subinterval. What is its right endpoint? This is, so I'll name it as x2 star. This is my third subinterval. Its right endpoint is this. So I'll name it as x3 star. This is my fourth subinterval. Its right endpoint is this. I'll call it x4 star. This is my fifth subinterval. Its right endpoint is this. So x5 star. This is my sixth subinterval. Its right endpoint is this. So this will be x6 star. Now once I have found out my sample points, then the problem is very easy. Just apply the formula for Riemann sum. So Riemann sum is simply this formula. It is delta x times f of x1 star plus f of x2 star plus f of x3 star plus f of x4 star plus f of x5 star plus f of x6 star. So this is how this is the formula for Riemann sum. Basically you need to multiply the width with the value of the function at each of the sample points. So my sample points here are x1 star, x2 star, x3 star, x4 star, x5 star and x6 star. So I'm now doing f of x1 star plus f of x2 star, f of x3 star, f of x4 star, f of x5 star, f of x6 star. So sample points. So width times the value of the function at each of the sample points. So the width is what? The width here is half times my first sample point is half. My second sample point is 1. My third sample point is 3 over 2. My fourth sample point is 2. My fifth sample point is 5 over 2. My sixth sample point is 3. Finished. Once we do this, then you just put these values in the function and then calculate the value. So if you put these values, that is if you compute out f of half, f of 1, f of 3 by 2, f of 2, f of 5 by 2, f of 3, by putting them in the function, the final result which you will get is, I have just computed out, it's minus 3.9375. Okay, so now let's take the next problem, next topic, which is finding indefinite integral. You can just copy it. Finding indefinite integral. So let's take the first problem. I'm doing the first problem. So evaluate this integral of 10x to the power 4 minus 2 times sec square x dx. So very easy. So first we need to separate them out. If you separate them out, we get 10x to the power 4 minus 2 sec square x dx. Just then you can take the constants out. 10 times x to the power 4 dx minus 2 times sec square x dx. Then using the formula for integral, the first one should be x to the power 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 minus 2 times integral of sec square x should be 10x. So it should be 10 x to the power 5 by 5 minus 2 10x. Lastly, you must add a c when you are finding indefinite integral. So your answer should be 2 x to the power 5 minus 2 10x plus c. So here notice that here I have used this formula. Integral of xn dx is xn dx is x n plus 1 by n plus 1. So you just add the one power to the top and divide by that power. Also integral of sec square dx, this is 10x. These two formulas I have used here to get from here to here and to here. And lastly, add a constant c. Now let's take the next topic, which is finding definite integral. Finding definite integral. So let's take the first problem, which is let's take the second problem, which is evaluate integral 1 plus cosine square x divided by cosine square x dx from 0 to pi by 4. Right? So how to find out the value of this definite integral? So to find out the value of this definite integral, so first of all we have to forget the limits and consider the indefinite integral 1 plus cos square x by cos square x dx. So what will be the value of this? How to evaluate this? So first I can write down this as 1 by cos square x dx plus cos square x by cos square x dx. So 1 by cos square x is sec square x dx, and cos square x plus cos square x is 1. So integral of sec square x is 10x and integral of 1 is x. So now once you find out the value of indefinite integral, this one whole thing from 0 to pi by 4 1 plus cos square x by cos square x dx. You can find it out just by putting the top value and the bottom value and their difference. So it will be tan of pi by 4 plus pi by 4 minus tan of 0 plus 0. So tan of pi by 4 is what? 1. 1 plus pi by 4 minus 0. So this is 1 plus pi by 4. The next topic is average value of a function. So find out the average value of the function. You are given a function fx equals to 1 plus x square and a given interval minus 1 2. Right? So here you are given your function and an interval. You need to find out the average value of the function in this interval. So here your a is minus 1 and your b is 2, right? So the formula for average values is FABE equals to 1 by b minus a integral from a to b fx dx, right? So b is 2, a is minus 1, so it should be 2 minus minus 1 integral from minus 1 to 2 1 plus x squared dx. So 2 plus minus 1 1 by 2 plus 1 integral minus 1 to 2 1 plus x squared dx. You get 1/3 from minus 1 to 2 1 plus x squared dx. Right? Now you have to compute out the value of this integral. So how do we calculate definite integral? First forget the limits and compute out the indefinite integral, and then just find out the difference of the limits, right? So here I need to find out minus 1 to 2 1 plus x squared dx. So just let's first of all compute out the simple thing. Let's first of all compute out 1 plus x squared dx. What is the value of this integral? So this is integral dx plus integral x squared dx, x plus x cubed by 3. This is the value of this integral. Now you need to put 2 and minus 1 and find their difference. So if I put 2 in this expression, I get 2 plus 2 cubed by 3. If I put minus 1, I get minus 1 plus minus 1 whole cubed by 3. Third bracket. So I get half, 1/3, 2 plus 8 over 3 plus 1 plus 1/3. So I get 1/3 of 3 plus 9 over 3. So 1/3 of 3 plus 3. So 6 by 3. So I get 2 as the answer. So this is just, I first of all plugged in the value of upper limit, which was 2 here in this expression. I get 2 plus 2 cubed by 3 minus, I put minus 1, I get minus 1 plus minus 1 cubed by 3. Then I simplify this, 2 plus 8 by 3 minus of minus 1 gives me plus 1, minus of minus 1 cubed by 3 gives me 1/3. Then if I simplify this, 2 plus 1 is 3, 9 by 3 which is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, I get 2 as the answer. And this is the average value. Okay, so now let's take the next topic, which is fundamental theorem of calculus. can just write it down maybe. So fundamental theorem of calculus. So you are given a graph. Right, so this is the graph 0, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so this is my graph of the function y equals to fx. So from this graph you have to find out the value of this integral, integration from 0 to 3 fx dx. First of all, so by the geometrical interpretation of definite integral, integral from 0 to 3 fx dx would be just area. Which area? Area above the x-axis minus the area below the x-axis, right? So above the x-axis I have a triangle and the base of this triangle is 1 and its height is 1, right? So area above the x-axis, area above x-axis minus area below x-axis. So the area, let's name this area, let's name it as A, this is B and this is O, let's name this as CD. This will be the area of OAB, area of triangle OAB minus area of triangle BDC, right? Now what is the area of this triangle? It's half base times height, so it will be half. What is the base here? The base is 1. What is the height here? The height is also 1 minus the area of this triangle BDC. What is the base here? The base is 2. What is the height here? The height is 1. So I get half minus 1, which is I get half, this is half times 2, right? So I get minus half as my answer. Right? Because this is 1, this is 2 and this is 1. So 2 times 1 gives you 1 and half times half gives you minus half. So this is the first problem. The next question is you define, so this is, we are done with this. We have, this is the value of integral from 0 to 3 fx dx. The next problem is suppose gx is integral from 0 to x ft dt, right? So you are asked find g prime 1. Right? So first of all, let's find out g prime x. G prime x will be, by the fundamental theorem of calculus, by just fx, because g prime x will be ddx of integral from 0 to x ft dt, because this is gx, so its derivative will be ddx of this, but then differentiation and integration will cancel each other, and I'll be just left with fx, right? So g prime x is fx. Now therefore g prime 1 will be f of 1. Now what is f of 1 here from the graph? This is my function, f of 1 is 0, right? This is 1, so it will be 0. Right? Now the last part is take the intervals where the function is increasing or decreasing. So g is increasing if g prime x is greater than 0. The function is increasing if the derivative is positive, it's known. Now what is g prime x? G prime x is fx, so that this means fx is greater than 0. Now where is fx greater than 0? Fx is greater than 0 here, it is above x-axis here, so that means in 0 1, in closed interval 0 1. That means g is increasing in closed interval 0. Now where g is decreasing? So g is decreasing. Now what is the criteria for a function to decrease? Its derivative must be negative. Now what is derivative of g? The derivative of g is fx, we have found out. So g prime x less than 0 means fx is less than 0. Now where is fx less than 0? Fx is less than 0 here. It is below the x-axis. What is this interval? 1 to 3. So in 1 to 3. Thus g is decreasing in the interval 1 to 3. Thus g is decreasing in this interval 1 to 3. Now let's do the last topic, which is properties of definite integral. So let me do the second problem, properties of definite integral. Okay, so let me do the second problem. Using properties of definite integral, find out the value of this function, integral from -3 to +3 x square sin x dx. So as I told you in my last lecture, whenever you are given an integral in which the lower limit and the upper limit, they are just negative of one another. You see that here the lower limit is -3 and the upper limit is 3. Whenever in an integral, if it happens that the lower limit and the upper limit are inverse of each other, you'll understand that you need to apply property 2 in the properties of definite integral in the notes. So what does that property say? That property says that if I have an even odd function here, and if I integrate it between and have such an integral, that is integrated between a limit and its negative, then the value of this integral is 0. So let's take this as my function. Let fx equal to x square sin x, and let's check whether this function is an odd function or not. So if I compute out f of -x, I get -x whole square sin x, which is sign of minus x, which is x square minus sine x, which is minus x square sine x. Now x, that is just minus of fx. So I see that fx is an odd function. So since fx is an odd function, so by property 2, the value of this integral will be 0. So this follows from property 2. Property 2, in the properties of definite integral you can check. So there are some other problems in the review, but since I have already given you the solution, so I just discussed one problem from each of these topics. So your purpose is to first of all watch each of the lecture videos meticulously, these 4 lecture videos, then go through all the problems in the review, then go through all the problems. Just going through the review is not sufficient. You also need to go through each of the problems in the notes. Only then you can feel confident to do your best in your exam. So go through each of the problems in the review, go through each of the problems in the notes, plus watch these 4 lecture videos again and again, and then I think you should be able to do your test. So your test is on next Monday, that is 6th of April. I'll be sending you the question paper at 11 o'clock in the morning, and you need to write down your in a sheet of paper, write down your name at the top, then you write down the question number and the correct choice. That is, there will be 4 options of which one is correct. Just write down your the question number and the correct choice, and then after you finish your work, take a snap of it and send me back within 3 p.m. on Monday. So all the best for your exam, study hard, and that's it.